Today we're talking about a big one. We're talking about reclaiming your sexuality. And whether you're still in the marriage and really hopeful for active recovery from your husband, or you're preparing and ready to exit the marriage, or you have already gone through divorce and maybe you're entering into the dating scene, which can be very terrifying. It's a vital step for us to talk about and figure out how we regain our sexuality or reclaim our sexuality. And so oftentimes that's a piece that's like, okay, that's way far off in the distance. I can't even think about that because I can't even feel like I can be trusting in that space at this point. So that's why we're talking about the very first few steps, kind of at the beginning of really climbing this mountain of regaining and claiming your sexuality. So the first one is acknowledging the loss. So there's always a loss in betrayal, right? Many losses in betrayal. And oftentimes we just want to get to the point of feeling better and it all being over with and just being able to move on with your life, that we don't really pay the amount of attention that is needed in really acknowledging that pain. So what that might look like, acknowledging the loss, is you may write just a list of all the things that it has taken from you: your self-confidence, your self-esteem, your ability to even be naked around him. You don't even want to be touched, the aversion to sex, period. Or it might look like writing a letter out to the addiction and really separating the addiction from the person, because what that allows you to do is go a little bit deeper and be more honest in the things that sometimes, especially if you're trying to stay in the marriage, sometimes there can be that resistance to even feeling that pain because you don't know how you're going to come back from it. If you fully feel the pain, are you going to even be able to stay in the same household with him? And so that can be really scary. But it's really important to bring to light that loss and allow yourself to really acknowledge the full breadth and scope of what has happened. And so just, what are those things that it has taken from you, and where has it left you? The second one we're going to talk about is creating sexual safety. So before we can even move forward into that space of actually getting sexually intimate again, we have to be able to create those sexual boundaries that says, I'm no longer going to have obligatory sex. If I don't feel emotionally connected, I will not be intimate. So we have to have that connected piece. And so as we're going through this, that may be a long time. And it may be like, okay, I'm feeling emotionally connected, and then halfway through your time, you don't feel connected anymore. You wonder if he's even present with you. Or maybe you're just triggered in that moment and you're feeling really insecure or really hyper aware of everything that has happened in that moment. And you just need to pull away and you need to say, I'm not really feeling comfortable with this. Giving yourself to say permission anytime you need to, because it is your body. And so you do get to say when it happens and when it doesn't. And being able to create those boundaries will help you be able to start to see, okay, he's willing to respect my boundaries. He's willing to do what I need in order to feel safe and comfortable. And that's going to be imperative to reclaiming that, to be able to, reclaiming that it says, I get to have control over when it happens or when it doesn't and why. So no more okay, it's his birthday or it's Father's Day, or it's it's been a long time, or gauging where you guys are at based on your guys's level of engagement sexually, or being afraid and fearful of him acting out if you don't. So putting in those boundaries, and maybe that says okay, we need to have an in-home separation or out-of-home separation. So going through those things and figuring out what you need in order to feel safe is what's going to start to create some of that trust within yourself and within that relationship to even think about moving forward in that area. The third one is rewriting the script. So through this, we get so many narratives, and our narratives start in childhood, right? So the scripts that we have about our sexuality really start in childhood. and how that was presented by our caregivers and talked about. So there may be some higher levels of shame in some situations than the other going into it before even betrayal trauma. So really paying attention to those narratives, but post betrayal, there's definitely going to be levels of, okay, like if I were better at this, or if I were willing to do the things that he was watching, maybe he wouldn't do this anymore. If I were smarter, more attractive, better at keeping the house clean, less of a nag, then maybe I could change what he's doing and he wouldn't be doing this to me anymore. So all of those things are untrue. And regardless, there's nothing you can do, say, or be better at that's going to stop him. He has to want to get help and want that recovery in order for that to happen. So just being able to recognize what it is that you're telling yourself. What are the things that are really causing that shame or feelings of unworthiness to really build within you, and then changing them. Find something that is affirmative, that says, I am perfectly and beautifully made, and I am enough right here where I am. I don't need to change. I don't need to be anything more or do anything. I am worthy of love, and I am worthy of intimacy that is truly connected and safe. And so finding whatever that is for you to start changing the script so that you can start really empowering yourself and feeling truly at the core of who you are, that this addiction is not about you. And that takes a long time to get to that point. It's not just about like saying positive affirmations to yourself every day. It's really like embedding that into who you are and how you feel about yourself, so you can get those things out of your head and recognize that it's not you. It's not you at all. And so those three things are just 3 steps that you can start taking that's going to help you kind of unlayer some of this that's happening within your mind and within your heart. And this piece is so hard, and my heart truly goes out to you. And I know that it feels completely like everything is shattered and like it's impossible to get back to where you once were, or is any man even trustworthy. And I just want to tell you, it is possible to get back to that point, but we have to really show up for ourselves and really be there to cradle us, to like really take care of us and give ourselves the permission to say, this is what I need. This is what I need in order to feel safe, in order to get back to who I am and really love myself. Because what you've gone through is so painful. And I just want you to know that you're not alone, and you can come over to the Facebook group. There's hundreds of women there that know exactly what you're going through. And that's Live Like You Matter, Healing from Betrayal Trauma. And I just want you to know that you don't have to go through this alone. It's so hard, but you can get there. You can get to healing. It just takes time. And I hope that you take care of yourself and do what you need to feel safe. And I will see you back next week. Bye-bye.